Hi everyone, my name is Noordin Darus. This is 2015, first week of New Year. I have decided to share with you some of my experiences while teaching for the last more than 25 years. I hope you're going to like it and have a very open mind and don't reject first, just listen and then make your own choices, because in the first place I'm going to talk to you about all that we're going to be discussing is very natural. For instance, conventional medicine have their own role to play. Traditional medicine, alternative medicine, there are a lot more like energy medicine, homeopathy, chiropractic. Wow, there are a lot of choices actually. So no one should say the other one is bad or you are the best and all that, because my key is very important. Whatever that works for you, if it works for you, that's the answer. And of course, it shouldn't be detrimental in the long run. Sometimes it can be good now because some of the chemical-based medicine are very good at curing you now, symptomatically. But the side effect, like, if you're on painkiller a long time, usually your kidney will be in trouble, your liver will be conged out, and by the time you realize it, you'll be on dialysis. So we do not want to have that kind of therapy for ourselves, if possible. So let me introduce to you the word called MiFiRo Therapy. MiFiRo is a term that I coined from, it came from a Malay word actually. Mi stands for Minda, the mind. Fi stands for Physica, which is the physical part of us. And Ro stands for Roh, which is the spiritual part. And actually we are talking about mind, body and soul management. You see, you shouldn't treat a disease just as a disease itself. In other words, if you have migraine, you just give anti-migraine. You have sinus, you give anti-sinus. That's actually is already outdated. If you have cancer, so you cut, you poison, or what else? You cut, you poison, you burn. In other words, you chemo, you radiate, and you operate alone. Because the other part of a person that we have to look at, especially the mind and the spirit part. So, the 7 principles of MiFiRo Therapy, which I shall discuss in detail week after week, and I hope you can follow. Anyway, I'll upload this for you all free of charge on YouTube. You're most welcome to have any comment, and please share with your friend. Okay, let's start off. The first principle is called peace of mind. Okay, we'll discuss about that in the future. But peace of mind is the key to a lot of disease prevention, disease curing, and disease or other health maintenance. I can tell you that for sure. At least 90% of all my patients have some form of stress, up to the word called disorder, or just stressful life alone. That can cause a lot of problem if we do not handle first in order to cure a person. Right. Number 2 is my favorite, called health and energy, and that's what we're looking at. Health and energy is something that people talk a lot, and yet sometimes become too complicated. They're so difficult for people to follow. For instance, dieting, trying to slim down. There are thousands of literatures written on it, and yet people are still, become obese. There are a lot of people talking about as simple as how to handle, pimples, and yet after all the chemical, after all the surgery, not surgery, microsurgery, or sometimes even going for dermabrasion and all that, why do people keep on going back to the same salon? I'll tell you why. Okay, we're going to talk about fitness level. We talk about how do you find a good doctor? Why not? Because we are paying. How do you know that your result is actually just clean? People are saying you have a clean bill, and yet you're still having your gastritis. Doctors say you have no problem, your medical report looks clear, your stress test, cardiovascular, ECG looks normal, and yet you still cannot perform at work, your sex life has gone down. There are many aspects to a disease, and also many aspects to how to cure a person. We would like to talk about number 3. The third principle is called long-term love and relationship. You see, as you are talking to your friend, or as you are listening to me now, there's always two-way communication. Even you stay in silence, you see. So Let's start with, even if you don't like a person alone, your physiology would have changed. If you hate a person, your whole blood pressure will gone up. If you start to shout and become hysterical, you probably will be having cancer very soon. So why not? You have to pay attention to what's going on in your life actually. Number 4, I think this one, people may say, oh, it's a bit materialistic, doctor. No, we're talking about financial freedom. We're not talking about trying to clobber everything, making tons of money. But not having money is a real problem, and it can cause disease. And you know that when you're ill, you have to pay a lot of money out, If you are having insurance, still you have to pay insurance anyway, right? So money is not everything, true, but everything is money. Fair enough? So number 5, something very, very simplistic, purpose of life. Until you know your purpose of life while you're born on this earth, you'll probably be quarreling a lot. You'll be very, very calculative at work. You'll become like everything is not sufficient and all that. And sometimes even if you have enough, it's still not enough. Why? Because you do not know, and we might not know the purpose of our life here. That's why some people have a lot of peace, joy, and love. Maybe they don't even define the meaning of their own purpose of life. Do you notice that people who go to number 6, called give back, have relationship with the purpose of life? Number 6 is called give back. In other words, you and me have been receiving a lot, from God, and whatever that's been given, of course, through your work, through your, blood, sweat, and tears and all that. But at the end of the day, until we know how to give back, life is still not complete. So in a way, I'm trying to give back in a small way to all of you free of charge, because God has given me enough for whatever I need, so I might as well share. So that number 6 is called giving back. And the last one, I will keep a secret. You must do this. Fill up the blank, okay? ... Now. In other words, what now that you must do? ... There's a word there. I won't even give you a clue now, but you must do that now. Not tomorrow, not planning for the next resolution for 2016, because every year you make resolution and you fail miserably. Why? Because we have been failing for too often, to come to the extent that after 40 years or 50 years, we would have given up, having good resolution. Today, the first resolution is to listen and take care of your health first. So let's go back to health energy, number 2, right? Okay, let's focus on number 2, so that today itself you can get something that you can learn, understand, and then you apply. Wait, did I say learn, understand, and apply? Because many people do not want to do things because they don't understand. And number 2, they don't feel for it. So you have to understand in a simplistic way, in such a way that, oh, it makes sense. I'll do it. I'll try first. And then when you try, you get the benefit, you will carry on. Okay, number 2, health and energy. There are 4 subtopics. Number 1 is called to know whether you are healthy and being very, very fit. Actually, is very simple. The first one is, besides the medical report, must be clean. Your fitness level, there's a way to test, but there are easier way to look at it. If you are working, or even if you are a housewife, you can know. Firstly, you are able to focus. Whatever you do, you are able to focus. If you are an office worker, you are able to perform very well. You are normally called a peak performer. You can be a CEO, you can be a middle management, or you can be an ordinary clerk, or you can just be a driver, or a janitor for that matter, or a full-time housewife. You got to send your kids to school sometimes. You got to come back and cook. You got to wash dishes, So somehow, if you are able to focus, and still by the night, by the evening time, you are still able to enjoy life, that is called healthy. And usually, these kind of people are quite fit. They can climb 4 steps of, or rather 4 flights of staircase. 4 steps, not a big deal. 4 flights of staircase without panting. Even if they pant, they'll probably recover within 3 to 5 minutes. Okay, people who are healthy and fit, usually these are the people who have enough of this simple thing in their life. They have enough rest and they have enough sleep. Can you imagine not having enough sleep? If last night you sleep less than 4 hours, you think today, or rather if I was like having problem last night of having more than 4 hours of sleep, I would probably have red eyes, I probably won't have even energy. Even though I have the spirit and they call it motivation to work, I can't, because your body physiology just doesn't allow you to be able to focus and perform at your peak. So usually for a person who wants to prevent from illnesses, make sure you have enough rest and sleep. There's another topic on sleep and rest alone, okay? Things like rapid eye movement sleep, you have to have that, okay? And of course people think, oh, after listening to me, doctor says sleep is good, so I'll go on sleep. Anybody who sleep more than 10 hours is bad. I mean, if you touch more than 9 hours even, you become low in your energy and fitness level. Surprising. That's why body that God have created us have its own optimum, what I call this, functioning ability. At the same time, have sufficient sleep and rest is a prerequisite to good health and fitness. Next, under health and fitness, is the one that's been talked a lot, which is exercise. The reason why God made us with joints, with hands and feet actually, it's very simple. It's for us to move. Otherwise, you might as well make us like a snake, and then even snake moves. Even though they have to crawl, they move. Fish will start to swim all the time. I mean, any creation that is with joints must be mobile. So the word is called movement. So if you are very sedentary, no wonder the 100th kind of disease that comes in. Okay, we will have time for that. But today I want to stress a little bit on the last one. The word is called nutrition. Ooh, it's not enough for the last 10 minutes of my presentation. You probably need 10 hours. And you know what? We doctors don't even have more than 10 hours of curriculum given on nutrition. And even if we are given, it will probably be outdated. Those food pyramid, that talk about carbohydrate, 60%, and then 25% of what? Protein, and then some 15% of fat, and sufficient amount of vitamin, mineral. It's all outdated, man, because if you still follow that, you're going to be like that. Not to mention the kind of quality of food or carbohydrate that we're taking in. And guess what? Nobody mentioned in the pyramid about water at all. I don't remember my former lecturer taught me about the beauty of water, the kind of water, how much exactly to drink and all that. All they say is water is important, at the most, one line. Honestly, the key to MiFiRo Therapy is called water therapy. You can say anything else until you clear this topic first and understand and practice. Why? It's very simple. Let me ask you, we are all made of what? What? Skin, muscle, bones. Yeah, you look at it from hair to toes, okay? But actually all are made of water. In fact, the way the embryonic formation and the way from the sperm of your dad and from the ovary, the ovum of your mom, the fertilization itself is through water. You got what I'm trying to say? And once we are made into full human beings, how many percent did you say we are made of water? 60? No, a bit more, try again. Yep. Minimum 70% is made of water. We are made of water, 70%. How beautiful. It is quite magical actually. The earth God created is also made of 70% of water. Can you imagine? There are already signals that if you deplete the water on earth, we will all die. So now if we deplete water in our body, our cell will die. Understand? Now that is in proportion of our body. Look, our bones itself is 22%. It's not zero water. Our teeth, that you might not see water coming out, is made of at least a minimum of 11% of water. Failing which all the teeth and the bone would have been cracked and broken by now. So let's talk about the bones, the brains. The brain itself is already like 90%. The kidneys is almost 90%. The cell, our trillion, how many trillion cells do we have again? 100 trillion cells. Come on. If it's all made of at least 95% of water, can you imagine if you just dehydrate by 10% a day, we are going to get a lot of diseases coming by. So, how do we handle this? Okay, if I ask you what kind of water you have drunk today, or the whole day, or average for the whole day, every day for your life, at least for the last 1 or 2 years, you probably say, yeah, I've drunk quite a lot. But the kind of water that we drink, is it true that we took in the morning like we have taken like coffee, tea, and usually we take even Milo, Nescafe, or anything with sugar and milk, boiled water actually, and then lunchtime, we're talking about drink first, okay? Or before lunchtime, another tea break, another coffee tea break. That's why they call it coffee tea break, you know, because people actually do take coffee and tea, plus sugar, plus milk, blah, blah, blah. And then lunchtime, sometimes before the meal, after the meal, teh tarik again in the afternoon, at night again, then supper, sometime before you go to sleep, another glass of, you know, you name it. But if I ask you, is that called living water or dead water? Now you tell me, because any water that's boiled is considered, I repeat, any water that's boiled is considered dead water. Alright, so you can name it, you can say they have a lot of what I call this nice chocolate, nice what I call this coffee, is good for health, good to open up your eyes and all that. Yeah, fine, those are effect of so-called the substance you put in. But in order to heal, the body require a very simple, clean, living, healing water. I repeat, simple, clean, living, healing water. So what are the criteria of, in the first place, there are two kinds of water, dead and living water. Dead water, I've given you example. Anything that you boil, whatever you mix with it is considered dead. Any water that is exposed to sun for too long is considered dead water. Any water that has been, of course, mixed with chemical and all the poison, of course. Right. But what is more simple is those that come from the spring water, that comes from the mountain, that comes from the well. I'm talking about well in the kampong, in the villages, that is very, very clean. The surrounding have no factories. Unfortunately, you can find this very much in towns like, you know, Kuala Lumpur, Singapore, Brunei, or even Jakarta. In many of the cities or even in the smaller towns, you can find any more of good, real, pure water that's coming from the earth, right? So my point is this, so you will probably buy a filter or you buy mineral water, all right, from a bottled form. Friends, make sure, whatever you do, please make sure you take the water that's number one, not boiled, number two, that have minerals, number three, they have alkaline, the nature of the water is alkaline, the pH I mean, and the last one is you must have the water that is energetic. There are ways to energize the water, all right? What are examples of water that I'm talking about? That is already natural, that God given. I mean, for the Muslims, it's very simple. Everybody who goes to Mecca will never forget to drink what they call Zam-Zam water, all right? And people know, they drink like more than 2 liters a day sometimes, and they even carry home and keep a lot because they think they can't get enough supply. So they tend to drink a lot. Number two, they exercise a lot. Number three, they surrender themselves to God like 100%. Surely the disease will go off. So that three alone will make sure that you'll be cured to almost like disease is like a magic going off. What did I say? Enough water, living water. Number two, exercise. Number three is God. In terms of spirit, you're very calm, right? You're very, very much at ease with yourself. You actually surrender yourself. So I like to talk about the water because many of us will start to argue. So doctor, which water shall I take? Like I say, make sure the character of the water have all those, okay? But more important is this, the amount. For men, in many parts of the world, we all almost need 2 to 2.5 liters. I'm saying many parts of the world is this because some people are very athletic. the Australian, and those who are working in or under the hot sun. But even then, if you are working in the office, your housewife and all that, please make sure 2.5 liters a day is very good indicator or ballpark figure. Okay, make sure at the same time, once you have got good water, good living water, please don't boil, and make sure you remember the 5 fingers. So in a day, try to finish off 5 bottles a day, or 5 times 500 mils, which is about 2.5 liters. You can finish, try first 1.5 liters, which is about 3 bottles minimum a day. For those who haven't drunk this kind of living water, I guess when you start with 3 to 4 bottles itself, you will feel the change already. Okay, so how to drink the water is also very important, because water is very much living. It has a soul. It has a power to remember whatever you say. It has the power to memorize and transfer whatever has been said. That's why in the olden days, the old folks will never allow you to touch food or drink until you say your prayer, because they know whatever you take in, it is becoming you. So it's nice for you to screen whatever you're taking through at least your dua first. Okay, let's go. So MiFiRo Therapy advise people to do this. First thing in the morning, before you brush your teeth, I repeat, before you brush your teeth. Why? When you brush, you're already mixing up with your fluoride, chloride, blah, blah, blah. So let's have your morning saliva ready first, right? Remember in the night when you sleep, some of you, have the saliva coming out on the right or left. Please throw that away. But the one that's inside, that's quite concentrated actually, make sure you do not borrow your morning saliva with your partners. Do not share your saliva, okay? It's only your own signature saliva, all right? Don't use a straw and start taking from your other partners, okay? Make sure you drink with full of what I call intention to heal yourself. And what do? Say your prayer for Muslim, baca Bismillah, selawat 3 kali, then ask for whatever you want, and then drink. And when you drink, watch. Whoa. If you do it intentionally, because usually when we drink, we just gobble the whole thing. But if you do it with a spirit and you know that you want to get healed, there's a way to feel the coolness of the water coming down, from your mouth to your throat, to your esophagus, it goes down to the stomach even. And that's the beauty. And you finish about sometimes even half a bottle. Some of you are not used to this kind of living water because it's a very small molecule. All living water are very small molecules. They're hexagonal actually, and they move very fast towards your kidney, and you tend to go to the loo. Okay, go ahead, and then you come back and finish a bottle, or you want to brush your teeth, by that time it's okay. Go to work, come back, second bottle. Next time I'll ask you to take a bit of pinch of salt on your tongue. You must take a pinch of no ordinary salt. The recommended one is called rock salt, okay, or the one that comes from the hill. There's one from Barrio, for instance. Some come from bamboo salt. Those are okay, right? Red Sea, remember that? All those is okay with me. Okay, make sure you put a pinch of salt or just a dab of salt on your tongue, and you drink the next bottle, okay, or the next 500 ml. Of course, the third bottle, you pinch, take a bit of salt and put it again. Just have the feeling or the taste of saltiness, and then you drink the third bottle, evening another fourth bottle, and maybe at night another bottle. Okay, let's see how. In order to know, one of the ways when you pass urine, make sure the urine is the same color as the drink that you take. In other words, crystal clear. Not bubbly, of course, not yellow or not tea. Tea color is considered very bad already. You probably need to check whether there's any blood in your urine actually. So let's go until you practice this for 2 to 3 weeks and tell me what happened. If there's any healing crisis, like the diseases that we help a lot by using water therapy, can start from anything like hair loss, or even dandruff, or people having migraine, especially people having pimples. The best is still water therapy, all right? Do not wash with any of those chemical and all that. Drink, like I say, and wash with this kind of water, you see what happens within 2 to 3 weeks. Oh my God, did I say 2 to 3 weeks? Yeah, some people within the first week, you can see the change already. But of course, some of you may take a bit longer because you've been having like, what, migraine for the last 20 years. Or I mean, forgive me, high blood normally is longer. People having gout, people having arthritis, sinus, asthma, hissing sound, vertigo, people having what call this gastritis, piles, constipation. Come on, man. You have all diseases until and unless you have tried the water therapy. Please do not take any medicine first. After all, what have you got to lose? Worst to worst, you already have got hydration. And guess what? One of the way to go for dieting in the future is also based on water therapy. So we'll be talking about water and water and water all over again, but in a different approach. But you will be hearing me not because I'm crazy about water alone, but because it is logical, it's rational, and that is the basis of MiFiRo Therapy. I'll see you again in MiFiRo channel. Make sure you share with your friend, and you would do me a favor to reach at least 1 million people within this 1 year. That's my aim actually. So thank you very much. Take care.